So you're ready to start your own consulting business. Well, I know what it feels like because I did this myself several years ago, and I'd like to share with you my 7-step formula to do it the right way so you don't have to go back and do it over like I did. The year was 2007. I was miserable. I hated my job. I had a brand new 3-year-old MBA, and I was miserable every day going to work. I was in tears, and I finally just went in one day and quit. I had that quintessential take this job and shove it moment that felt so good for about 15 minutes until I realized, oh no, what have I done? What am I going to do? And that's how my consulting business was born. I had a best friend at the time, and she had started her consulting business and she was doing well. So I thought, maybe I could just do the same thing. And right away, my initial intention was simply, I need to replace my income. I don't want to have to go asking for money. I don't want to get into debt. I have to figure out how to replace my income so I don't lose any ground. There was also a hefty dose of my ego at stake here. I didn't want people to know that I was struggling or that I had failed at my job, which I hadn't actually failed. I quit. But I worried about what people would think. Don't we all? And so with that energy, with that intention, very little intention, that's how I started my consulting practice. And it was pretty much downhill from there. Those first 7 years were really tough. And I made it. My business started to grow incrementally. You know, it wasn't so bad. But the problem was my revenues were up and down like a roller coaster. I wasn't taking any time off. I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't eating well. I was working late. I was working nights, working weekends. And what ultimately happened was I crashed and burned. 7.5 years in, my body finally just gave out and I had to stop. And the moment I stopped, my business tanked. And that's because I didn't build the business the right way in the first place. So I want to share with you over here on my whiteboard how to do it the right way, the 7-step formula. And you make sure that you have each of these steps in place. I promise you're going to have it so much easier than I did, and it'll happen so much faster. So let's go over and check it out. Now, it's really important that you do these things in order. And if you find that there are issues all over the pyramid, that's okay, but you want to start focusing on the lowest level. So this is good if you're starting a business. You're in a great position if you're starting out and you're finding this video. I wish I'd had a video like this to help me when I started. But it's also great if you already have a business and you're looking to reorganize it or improve it. So at the bottom of the pyramid is what I call identity. Now this identity is you. That you are the base of your consulting business. Especially if you're a one-person operation getting started, then it really matters who you are. What do you love to do? What are your passions? What are your interests? What are your talents? What are your strengths and your gifts, right? You want to build the entire business on a base of joy and alignment and picking things, doing something that really you enjoy doing rather than trying to build an entire business around the things you hate, which might seem obvious, but that's what I did. I built my whole consulting business around project management and execution and implementation, which are not my gifts. My gifts are strategy and creativity and all those types of things. The second thing you need to think about before you even really get started is what kind of lifestyle do you want to live? It's going to look very different to build a business around you if you're a mom with young kids who are now being homeschooled. That's one set of lifestyle constraints. That's going to look very different from someone who's single and doesn't have any constraints like that. Maybe the second person wants to travel all over, and maybe the first person, the mom, wants to be home at 3 o'clock every day or wants to be home all day so that they can homeschool. So your lifestyle matters. That includes how many days a week you want to work, how many hours a day, how many weekends a month do you want to take off? Do you want to take 3-day weekends? Do you want to take 2 weeks a year off? Do you want to take 10 weeks a year off, right? How much money do you need to make to live the life that you really want? So these are all the lifestyle considerations, and they really are very closely related to your identity. Your identity really determines a lot about how you want to live your life. And then your lifestyle determines a lot about your business model. So now we've kind of moved into a new space here. This is that internal work, right? Kind of underneath the surface. And now we move into business model. Your business model is the thing that's going to support your lifestyle. Your business model is how you turn your magic into money. It's the mechanism by which your business turns your magic into money. Now notice I said your magic, not your time or your effort. When you're monetizing your time and your effort as a business model, you can hit a ceiling very quickly. Because when you're monetizing your time and your effort, the only way to make more money is to sell more time and effort. So we want to think about our business models that leverage your time and your effort and really leverage the lifestyle that you want to lead and your core identity, what you're best at. Now your business model could be something like, I have a consulting and coaching model, but for a long time I had a one-on-one consulting coaching model, which required a lot of my time and effort. And then I shifted to a retreats and a mastermind model. Now, by the way, if you want to learn more about that, check out my whole playlist on how to build a retreats and mastermind business. But back to the business models, you can do, for example, a subscription model, which has monthly recurring revenue. And by the way, I think monthly recurring revenue is the holy grail of business. When you can sell once and collect for 12 months or 24 months or forever, right? Now you've got, every time you make a sale, you're building on the foundation and you open yourself up to more freedom and more opportunity. So I'm a big believer. This is kind of like a really important piece that I talk a lot about and have a lot of videos about, incidentally. So now let's move up. Once you're clear about what kind of model you want, then you want to look at how to brand yourself and your business. So what's your sweet spot? Your brand is your positioning in the marketplace. It's the people that you target. It's the problem that you solve. It's the pain points that your clients have. It's all of the things that basically make up your identity as a business and your identity online. So it's things like your logo and your fonts and your pictures and your brochures and your business cards and your color scheme and all the things that represent your brand out in the world. Once you have a clear brand identity, then we've got to put that brand out. We have to disseminate it. Now, what that looks like is marketing. Marketing is the consistent dissemination of your brand's promise out in the world. So marketing can be ads, it can be social media, it can be YouTube videos like this, it can be your book, it can be your website, it can be funnels, it can be Facebook ads. All of those things, which are how you put your brand in the world, are the ways that you market, which attract opportunities. Now, when you attract opportunities, you gotta be able to convert them into money. And that requires sales or selling. So when you have opportunities flowing in, then you need to convert those opportunities. And as you convert those opportunities, you generate money for the business. Now remember, you're selling, you're generating money based on this key item here, this business model. And when you learn how to sell effectively, when you price effectively, when you're able to convert your magic into money, what happens is your business grows. You generate profits. But what can also happen when it grows and you generate profits is you start to spend too much. So that brings us to the final item, which is scale. And that's how you manage operations, how you streamline and create processes and systems to be efficient so you're not wastefully spending money, but instead optimizing and stabilizing the business so that it can grow and make a bigger impact in the world. I like to say that it's difficult to see the label of the jar you're in. It's very difficult for us to have perspective on ourselves. So if this video made you think and your mind is abuzz about how you can build and grow your business more successfully, I invite you to check out my Superstar Business Assessment. You can visit it at superstarbusinessassessment.com, and what it'll do is it'll walk you through about 30 questions, all based on this model that I just shared with you. And these 30 questions will give you real clarity about where to focus in your business first so that you can grow more effectively, raise your prices, make more sales, and eventually scale into a more profitable operation. Enjoy.